Hey guys, welcome to my glowing space ceiling mural video. I'm going to show you what I did to get this mural up on the ceiling from beginning to end. It all started when my friend Nancy asked me to paint something in her daughter's room in their new house. At first she had said a mural and had a few ideas for some glittery gradients and space stuff, and then eventually decided on painting the ceiling. At first I was really hesitant because I've painted a ceiling once before. It was my own ceiling in my room as a teenager, and I painted it like almost pitch black. I did it black at the corners and then going to a blue in the middle. And I just remembered painting the stucco with a roller, and it was so messy and it took so long. Not to mention I had to paint it back over again white. Anyway, it was a disaster. So I told her I can only paint the ceiling if it's smooth, and she said yes, it is smooth. So I said, all right, let's go for this. So she said that she wanted something spacey, kind of like my most recent paintings. So I made up this mock-up. It's a digital painting based on looking at some pictures that she provided on Pinterest. She had like this really cool vision board and like different ideas for bedrooms and stuff. I really liked the lamp she had. It's like this star-shaped lamp, and I wanted to work with that. So I kind of made this swirly pattern from the colors that she chose. Her daughter wanted fuchsia, navy blue, black, gold, and glow in the dark. And I told her glow in the dark is not really a color. Well, I guess it can be. So we went with teal instead as the other color. So the first problem I realized when painting a ceiling, the last time I did it, well, the only other time that I had done it was, like I said before, the room that I did as a teenager. And for that, I just had the pole and a roller. And then I was thinking, like, if I'm going to be painting something detailed on a ceiling, I'm going to need something to hold me up because I'm going to be there for a week. It'll be long hours. Kind of like this Michelangelo Sistine Chapel ceiling situation where if I want to be able to paint without breaking my neck for a long period of time, I was going to need something like a scaffolding to hold me up. My husband and I looked around at different scaffoldings that you could either buy or rent at Home Depot, but all of them seemed kind of outside my budget. So in the end, Brad ended up designing this really cool scaffolding that was made to go between two ladders. So the idea was that he took some plywood, made it thin enough so that it would fit between the sides of the ladder and then go from one step ladder to another, and then I could lie down on it in the middle. So it was reinforced and we tested it, and it fit in my car. Those were the specs that we needed to follow. Hi. This is what's going to be super, super handy very soon. So once everything was packed up in the car, I drove over to Nancy's place and, well, I basically settled in for the week. So first I had to clear out the room, and that didn't take too long. Mostly just they had just moved in, so there wasn't a ton of stuff. I just had to take off the fixtures and stuff. And then I taped the ceiling so that any paint, well, because they had just painted all the walls, so I didn't want to ruin any of the walls. So I taped up the ceiling and then started with the navy blue first, just to go around the edges, because I knew I wanted the dark colors to be near the edges on the sides of the room. I had some company. Her daughter was hanging out with me while I was doing this. I got this really handy brush from a friend of mine that has threading at the bottom, like a hole and then some threading, so you can actually stick it on a paint pole. Super handy. I'm really glad that I remembered to bring it with me because I used it a ton, basically just to sketch the outline. I traced the 5 points from the lamp that she had onto the ceiling, and that was gonna kind of be my guide for the different swirls that I would end up painting. For the type of paint I'm using, it's just the navy blue I got, I think like a half gallon or a pint size bucket of paint, and it was just like a bare interior paint. So nothing too fancy. I think it was just low gloss, satin, something like that. Anyway, just a regular interior paint. I wanted to make sure that it would cover really well and that it was the exact color that I needed for this. So I'm just tracing out the guidelines here. These lines don't really show up in the end. I really got a kick out of painting from the floor with the pole. Like, I felt like it could give me a bigger range of motion. I was able to do more sweeping strokes, like more curved lines. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm really grateful that I have a decent yoga practice, which helped me not get sore throughout all of this. I was definitely doing lots of stretches in between to make sure that I wasn't hurting myself throughout this whole time.
What is that?
This is a scaffolding so I can lie down and paint.
Oh, so you're doing that.
See? But you're not allowed to go on it, okay? It's kind of dangerous.
If you fall down, you can really crack your head.
Yeah. I wouldn't want that to happen.
Well, maybe not crack your head, but you can really, really badly hurt yourself.
Yeah, wouldn't be fun. But now, I can paint like this.
Oh, yeah.
Once I had the scaffolding set up, it was a lot easier for me to work in the details. I started putting in, I really wanted to get the area around the lamp secure first, because that would be the most detailed and it would be the part that you could see the most because it's in the middle of the room. So I started out with white, which was just also an interior paint, and I added teal, and the teal is just a regular acrylic that I got at Wallach's, nothing too fancy, just like a student grade paint. The next day I set up the scaffolding and used it a lot more. I was using mostly the fuchsia color and a mix of the stepping stool with the brush as well as the brush on the end of the pole. Depending on how much energy I had and how patient I was, it would kind of change the amount that I would use either tool. I would kind of start off the day using the brush and just the step stool, or a milk crate in this case. And then as the day went on, I would use the scaffolding. It just helped with keeping my neck rested. Also, it's a real pain in the butt to move the scaffolding. So I try to work as generally as I could at first and then move into the details with the scaffolding once I know exactly where I needed to place it. The whole project took about 4.5 days, I guess. I took half the day on Monday to move things around and set up. And I guess by Friday I was doing the more detailed work and cleaning up, and then I went into the glowing stuff. But here I'm about, I'd say 3/4 or halfway. I decided to do, it's definitely a lot more abstract than I had planned and a lot more involved than they had expected. But I think she had just wanted clouds at first, but then I definitely got carried away and I tried to do a bunch of different elements. And I mean, I definitely included clouds, as you can see. So, I mean, they were very happy with it overall. So I was happy too. Oh, there's a pillow on the scaffold now. It's funny because as time went on, the scaffold got comfier and comfier. I had a pillow, and then later on I had a blanket for behind me because my spine would start to hurt from lying down for, 12 hours at a time on the board. As far as brushes, I'm just using my regular paint brushes, nothing fancy. Pretty much all of the colors are acrylic paints except for the navy and the white, which are both interior paint that I had a bunch of. They mix just fine together. I mean, they're both water-based paints, so it didn't really matter that I was mixing them. I was definitely designing on the go. Like if you look back at the digital concept drawing that I had, it looks almost nothing like the finished product. It was more just to get an idea of what the movement looked like and what colors, how they would interact and stuff. So I think this bunch of clouds was one of the last spots that I worked on. I listened to a lot of podcasts, a lot of music, and TED Talks, yeah. Those helped pass the time. Shortly after this, I pretty much finished the ceiling. So this is like the last of the details. Then I took out the glow powder that I bought online. I got it on Amazon in bulk. If you search like bulk glow pigment, then there are a few options. There's this teal one here, and they have the bright spots on them because I used my phone and I shone like light directly on the bag of powder so that I could tell what color they were. There's a blue that I'm holding here. There were 2 green ones and then a teal. So I like the look of the teal one the most. So that ended up being what I was going to use. All right, so I took half of the powder from the teal bag and mixed in with some matte medium by Liquitex. About a 1-to-1 ratio. Honestly, I think I should have used more of the medium because once I stirred it up, it was quite chalky. And even when I would apply it with a brush, I tried it on a bunch of different things, like different random objects, a sketchbook, my water bottle, my fingernails. I put it on everything because it's awesome. Anyway, so with 1-to-1 ratio, it wasn't enough medium, so it would actually rub off a little bit. All right, so this is half medium, half glow powder, teal, and I'm just painting the lid of the jar just so that I know what color it is, because they all look the same white color in the bag. So I'm painting it like this, and I'm gonna charge it up after it dries and then take a picture of it in the dark, and we'll see what it looks like. Let's see how strong the glow is. All right, so this is, oh my gosh, it's the glow powder. It looks even more insane on camera. What? Yeah, so clearly it doesn't take much for it to show. So to put the glow paint onto the ceiling, I kind of retraced my steps. First, I did individual stars. I tried to get all of the stars with a decent glob of paint on each one, just so I wouldn't have to go back and do them over and over again to make it a stronger glow. And then after I did the stars, I got the scaffolding back and I painted the middle. I had to do a lot of layers over the middle. And like when I say the middle, I just mean I did the lines like around where the lamp would be, the star-shaped lamp. And then I kind of spread out from the center, and yeah, came out pretty cool. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate your support. You guys on Patreon, you're the reason that I'm making videos, and I really, really enjoy it. So I hope that you enjoy it too, and that you tune in next time. Thank you so much.